Hey everyone, and welcome back to the two-port MIMO setup once again. I know I previously said it would be the last video on two-port MIMO, but I happened to get a suggestion that we should also talk about something called as DGS, which is the defected ground structure that we need to deal with. Now, this is something that is used a lot in terms of isolating your antenna a lot. I've seen DGS being used to, improve your S12 a lot. And so to actually get started with DGS, it's a pretty simple process. Comes down to how exactly your slots are put and all that. So what we will do is we will do a very simple rectangle. Okay. And from there, we'll see what to do. So to start off, DGS, right? So the G is basically the ground. So that means we're doing something to the ground, right? Something to this guy. So what I'll do is I'll just draw a simple rectangle. Okay, something that is maybe something from here to there. And this is like completely random. Okay, there's no thought given behind this. With that said, what we would want to do is, where is it placed currently? So we are at minus 15, 85 and 0. We want to move it in the x-axis. So let's say we move it to 20. What happens? It goes up. So, and if we come down to minus 10, what happens? It comes down. Okay. So positive 0 would bring it somewhere there. Our patches are sitting there. Okay. So now you have the freedom to basically decide on what you want to do with this. Okay, first of all, we have not done anything apart from just moving this guy. I just wanted to see like if I can bring it down further so that I reach near the ports but not like fully covering the ports. I want to be able to have it just above. Now at this stage, um, and by ports I mean like where exactly it's meeting the patch, right? So I don't want it like too close here. I would want it somewhere like maybe starting from down here and then moving up. Just to see how the results show up. Okay, again, this is one of the ways in which you set up a sweep and then you see what happens with the different shapes. Okay, so this is more of trial and error. Ultimately, most of it is, but in a way, you can basically see if things improve if you do these things that I'm showing you right now. So now to actually, you know, bring the DGS into the picture, what we do is say I want to start it from here. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put a variable DGS X. So I know that it is something that is moving in the X axis, and I'm going to put the value 15. This is random. Okay, it's nothing to do with why do I put 15. There's no magic involved here. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. So that is done. You will see it has moved down. Okay, and let's say we start from there. So I would select the ground and then I would select the rectangle. Okay, don't do it the other way around. If you do it the other way around, this will remain, the rest of it will go. You don't want it that way. So click on ground and click on rectangle and then hit subtract. Right, so ground, rectangle, and now if you notice, we have actually gotten rid of this section. Okay, so that will not be visible from here. Of course, you get to select it, but now it has been placed. So you have a DGS. Now, of course, the rest of your sweep is no longer going to work, right? So you'll have to run your sweep again. And so to do that, of course, we're always ready to do that. Let's just validate real quick if things are working. And looks like we shouldn't have an issue. So let's just see where is it going from, some 40 to 65. I'll just have a shorter sweep. I don't want to have such a um large sweep. I'll just update this. Both of these guys will now move, so just 6, so that's fine. And then we're going to hit simulation and analyze all. So now we just have to wait and see what happens. But when we have set up the sweep, I don't think we have actually varied the DGS. We have kept it there only, and it is going to stay this way throughout the sweeps. Okay, if you wanted to move, of course, that can be done. If you wanted to move along x-axis, you wanted to move along y-axis, that also can be set up. I've already showed you how to use the variable, so you could set it up. Now the freedom is all yours, but I'm just keeping it as it is, and I'm letting these guys move away from this DGS and see what happens. Like, it's not something that is hard and fast. You get to choose, and we'll just update these reports so that we can see what is happening. We're gonna let this run for a while, and then once we are done, we'll come back and see what it has given us. Okay, so I'm gonna see you guys after this particular sweep is done. All right, so looks like we are done. Now let's see what it has done for us. Oh, first things you notice, gain is improved. This one is all over the place. Okay, so you need to be careful with this, of course. This one is not showing us all the values, but if we just update, hello, can you update? Oh, modify. Sorry for that. Modify all apply. Oh boy, we're definitely getting into something or the other. But let's see. This one is the S11, and for 40 and 120, do we have the S12 as well? Okay, we need to, let's just replot it. That's S11, S12, and S22. Families all great. Yeah, we are not overwhelmed by this for sure. Let's just go to 2.4 and see what exactly it's showing us. All right, so let's see, what is this for? This is the S11. Okay, for 40 and 120. You know what? I would like to see that. Modify report 40 and 120. I'm just going to do it on another one then. Fine. So we need 120 and we need 40. What all do we need? S11, S12, and S22. Now that's a much better picture. So we just quickly go ahead and see 2.4. S12 is 5 minus 5, so that's pretty bad for sure. And S22 is okay, can be dealt with, but so we'll have to deal with this separately. All right, so you'll have to run sweeps, of course. Now this was just an example, that's why I'm happy with what S11 and S22 have given me. I'm very happy with it. But as soon as S12 is seen, it should be less than minus 15. It is nowhere close to minus 15. So that's where I'm going to be worried about it. But DGS has definitely like increased the gain. In my case, it has. Which is okay. It is telling me that I'm pretty much headed in the right direction. 6 gain is not bad at all for this kind of a setup. So you could run sweeps like across. You could have like this DGS adapting to the size of the substrate. You could have it run up and down along the x-axis. You could have it along y-axis. Now this is up to you how you want to see it. And in this way, so basically you wouldn't have to worry about like, okay, this is the configuration that you know is the right one for this particular setup. No, like you will be able to run sweeps, you'll be able to identify which is the right one, because of course that's the plan ultimately. And as you introduce more variables, this is one of the best possible tips that I got from my professor, is that run your sweeps in parts. Okay, It's never possible that you run around like 170, 180 odd sweep, those combinations. Like, do not do that. If you have a table which has around even above 100, you are bound to have issues, because first of all, it's going to populate your S11, S12, and S22 plots, right? Okay, even if you separate them, each one has to hold 100 different um, lines, and that means you're just gonna have trouble across the entire setup, that you're gonna run 100 different S11 parameters, 100 different S12, 100 different S22s, then deal with ECC, DG, TARC, and CCL, and also then deal with gain. So avoid that as much as possible. Just keep it very simple. Just keep it up to, I have run up till 50 and I had no issues. Now, I do not have a super powerful system either. Like, it's a very basic graphic card and a mid-range processor. Okay, so in that way, I have been able to do up to 50 odd. I've also done 70, but I've had to face crashes, multiple crashes. So maybe that's something that my system is not able to handle. Maybe you have a much more powerful system, then fine, deal with that 70 odd results in one plot. You could do that, but you're gonna drive yourself insane. So just ensure that you're keeping it in different sections, wherein, okay, you're doing, let's say you want to run a sweep from 0 to 100 mm. You're gonna have a bunch of combinations. So how about you break it down to 0 to 15, and then 15 to 30, 30 to 45, and so on. Or if you want, let's say, 0 to 50, and you want to have very you want every step of the way taken care of, then 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, and then maybe you could reduce the step size so that you get much more precise values and you know exactly how the data is moving. And so that is one way to avoid crashes. And yeah, that should deal with the DGS part. So I think that definitely should clear out the 2-port MIMO setup. Now, this DGS part you could run for your single element as well. That is up to you. Or you could also introduce it further into the 4-port MIMO system. Now, this does not mean that this is something that only works for the 2-port system. Now, this is something that works for your single or 2 or 4 and whatever that you're designing. Okay, so with that said, I think the next one we can definitely get into the 4-port setup, and then from there on we will see how to set it up, and then move once again into the ECCs and DGs and all that. So thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next one.